We've had an absolutely fantastic Ostmine conference. Over 1,200 delegates. We've had a world-class lineup of speakers and exhibitors who were part of this event. And I look forward to seeing you in 2021 in Perth.
Welcome and thank you for joining our discussion today, where we will take you on a journey to the digital mine. I'm Clinton McKinnon, Product Manager for Digital for Mining at ABB Australia. I'm joined by my colleague, Eduardo Lima, Global Product Manager of Digital and Integrated Mine Operations. Even before COVID-19, new technologies and digitalization were central topics for the mining industry. However, in the past year, the pandemic has emphasized the importance of digital operations as we've become more and more reliant on these technologies. There has never been a stronger need for the industry to create modern mining solutions in order to improve remote working and digital applications. On our journey today, we will share with you an overview of ABB in mining, the 4 phases of digitalization, how we are working to help transform the Goldfields Granny Smith gold mine, as well as the technologies that we are using to make this happen. ABB has a long history of innovation in technology spanning more than 130 years, from the advent of electricity to the data-driven industry of today. We've been in Australia since 1906 and have been working with mining and minerals industry for more than 60 years, on the electrification and process control at every stage of the mining cycle. With over 3,000 base installed, 300 patents, we use one integrated approach called our ABB Mine Optimize, which allows cross-functional enterprise-wide approach to unify and integrate mining solutions. Looking forward, the most successful mine of the future will be digital. ABB are working with key mines in Australia and around the globe with their digitalization journey, and many of them are ahead of the pack globally. We can see here a demonstration of the process and the steps towards that goal. We have what we currently use, like the motors, drives, and robotics, with digital operations adding a layer of observability to those automated and underlying processes. These are the foundation for that future state of autonomous operations, where decisions can be made by computer systems. But in order to do that, we need to have a strong digital foundation. And companies around the world are reinventing themselves through these digital technologies, and they will enable deployment of continuous, reliable, and scalable processes at an optimized cost. Everything starts with your vision of what a digital mine is. Describing how you want your digital mine to operate is important. We can give you the technology and tools to digitalize your mine, but without your input and without your vision of what that should be, we can't map that journey. We need to know the biggest hazards, the most challenging jobs, and the longest delays that are caused at your site. And with this, we can apply our tools and technologies to make the digital mine that you need. We'll now look at a few case studies, including the project I'm currently working on at Granny Smith, owned by Goldfields. We'll look at some of the challenges we faced along the way. So working with Granny Smith, we've worked with shift bosses, mine controllers, and other stakeholders within the mine to see what the pressures and complexities that they face in their job and how a digital solution can improve their lives. With more than 2,000 events happening per shift and 40% of those being around manual data input, by engaging with these people and finding out what's valuable to the consumers of that data and also how they input that data currently, we can design digital solutions that will help streamline this information, make it more available to those who need it, and in a fashion that is much quicker. In order to implement these technologies, though, we need to involve the people. A lot of digital solutions can ignore people. And if you don't have buy-in from the operators, from the users, from the truck drivers, from everyone, then these systems won't work. So in order to get to the digital mine, we have to follow a path, a journey. And to reach this journey, we have 4 steps. First, we want to stabilize the data flow. Then we want to standardize execution. We then want to automate so that we can automate the decision making. And finally, once we have these foundations in place, we can optimize. In the Granny Smith project, to bring stability, we are implementing interoperability. Mines these days have a lot of different operations. You have above ground, below ground, and at the moment, it can be difficult to communicate between these sectors. We're working with the University of Western Australia and the ERDI lab with ETP to develop an interoperability system into our OMS system that will enable seamless communication between all of these different sectors. We're mapping this data flow and how operators input their data, how users consume their data, designing a control panel to make it more visible, and interacting with everyone to find out what information is important. Once we have this stable base of interconnected data with clean pathways between them, we move to the next phase, which is to standardize the execution process. First, once we've standardized tasks and how they're operated, we can enable visibility between the above and below ground and between different sectors. Having a standardized execution plan means that mine planners can see KPIs in real time and also the state of all equipment underground. This enables operators like Survey to see what the state of a heading is and make their decisions about their schedule. For the next step, I'll pass over to my colleague, Eduardo, and he will take you through Automate.
Thank you, Clinton. The next slide, we have the 3rd step of the journey towards a digital mine operation. We apply scheduling algorithms to support mine controllers and mine planners to take decisions, reducing the time to reschedule tasks for the current shift and adjusting plans for upcoming shifts. Mine planner can achieve new levels of production schedule efficiency through phase preparation to crusher, while mine controller acts as dispatcher. He assigns and optimizes resource usage in real time, depending on the actual situation in the mine and following the production plan more effectively. Please click on the next. ABB names this feature closed loop schedule. The AutoSchedule engine combines high-level mining planning with activity-level control for weekly and shifty plan. To demonstrate this technology, ABB partnered in the Sustainable Intelligent Mining System, a successful European Union project, part of the Research Innovation Program Horizon 2020, which spanned from 2017 to 2020. In this digital journey, ABB specialists, together with Boliden's mine controllers experts, used agile co-creation to develop and demonstrate the use of auto-scheduling algorithms and what-if scenarios inside of a real underground mine operation environment. You can find more videos and material about this project at ABB and YouTube. In the next, have the 4th step of the journey towards additional mine operation. Here, we research optimization algorithms to move mine operations from controlling details and activities to controlling planning principles and strategies with new possibilities for operation analysis, material flow, and improvement of work. In the autonomous and digitalized mine, people and machine work side by side. And you see a great example in the next step. Next slide. ABB contributes to the sustainable mine of the future with our knowledge and solutions for underground electrification, integrated automation planning, and operations management system that connects workforce and equipment in real time to perform predictive production scheduling, automated execution, and optimize the material flow. To set a new world standard for sustainable mining at great depth, LKAB, a Swedish miner, ABB, and partners have joined forces to find new methods and smarter solutions, building an efficient autonomous production system that is carbon-free and has the highest levels of safety. The project is called SUM, Sustainable Underground Mining, and will be in LKAB underground mines in the north of Sweden, as well as in a virtual mine. The SUM will lay the foundation for decisions to be made in the mid-2020s and after 2030. LKAB will be ready to break into deeper ironstone in their mines. You can also find videos and material about this project at ABB and YouTube. Now, we're going to the next step, that is invite you to the digital mining journey. Please, Clinton. As you have seen in this case, no company can realize the autonomous and carbon-free mining vision alone. Whatever your goals and priorities for Industry 4.0, it's easy to get started with any of our co-creation models and achieve your strategic targets faster. If you are in the beginning of your digital transformation or want to be benchmarked against best practice, we can start with a digital maturity assessment. We make use of interview surveys on-site or remote. The duration is typically 1 day per plant or per area of your site. This step-by-step approach can benchmark digitalization levels of the value chain from mine to port, set your priorities and value drivers, and evaluate the digital technologies and partners required. In the next, could it be that you have already mapped your challenges and needs internally? So we can start with digital value workshops using design thinking methodology. We first check and understand the current situation from different perspectives. The ideas and requirements are described and specified, tested and evaluated in follow-up meetings and plans. The ABB Ability Customer Experience workshops range from visits taking between 1 to 4 hours up to 5 days of co-creation sprints. We will determine together the optimal engagement format and duration based on your needs and availability. Now I want to give you additional case. Next, Clinton, thank you. Before we finish, I bring a last case to demonstrate that digital transformation is not restricted to data analytics, machine learning, and software. As part of the Sustainable Intelligent Mining System, ABB built up in collaboration with partners a full-scale autonomous remote charger prototype in the lab, a game-changing technology to move people away from unsafe areas by automating one of the few manual processes left in mine. In November 2019, mining robots, automation, and software experts traveled 1 kilometer below ground into the mine of Boliden Garpenberg to demonstrate in operation the proof of concept of autonomous mining charging robot in operation. Next, Clinton, please. My final message is actually an invitation. Let's talk, let's collaborate, let's create a digital ecosystem to support the sustainable mine of the future. Carbon-free, digitalized, and autonomous. Thank you for attending our session and enjoy the event.
Hi, gentlemen. Just before we leave the call, actually, we have got some questions that have come through from the audience. Clinton, I think this one's for you. Can you tell me more about the work with ERDI Labs, please?
Yeah, so our work with the RDI is around interoperability. We've been working with them to implement ISO 95 into the OMS operations management system. And through that project, we are enabled communication between various vendors. We've successfully recently implemented a demonstration of that communication across different vendors with different participants in a standardized way, in a key point for this particular project. So it's an exciting time to be working with them.
Great. This one I think is probably more from you, for you, Eduardo. It's more of a global question. Besides the Granny Smith mine, have you applied this to any other mine in Australia or otherwise globally?
Thank you for the question. Yes, ABB is present in more than 50 countries, and you have nowadays projects with operations management system in Chile, Canada, Sweden, India, and Australia. So we are around the globe supporting the digitalization of the mine. So bring the operations management system, co-create agile workshops, and collaborate with the partners in the different regions as well, even local partners that we collaborate to deliver this new standard for mine operations.
Okay, good to know. So last question that has been submitted is, has COVID impacted how and where you're doing these workshops, Clinton? Are you doing them remotely?
So yeah, that's a good question. COVID has definitely had an impact, but we are actually out on Granny Smith mine. I'm based in Perth, not far from the mine, and I've been out there 3 times in the last couple months. On site, working with people. I've been underground with the shift bosses, sat in the control room in meetings. So we like to get on face when we can't actually get there, when we need to bring someone in from the development team overseas. We use services like this one and Teams that enable us to kind of give the developers and everyone, it's a global team addressing these problems. So it's quite an exciting time to be working with this.
We've had an absolutely fantastic OstMine conference. Over 1,200 delegates. We've had a world-class lineup of speakers and exhibitors who were part of this event. And I look forward to seeing you in 2021 in Perth.